Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode, the pilot of the Succeed podcast, where you get to learn how to own nothing but control everything. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Succeed podcast. We have the GOAT, GOAT,
Wow.
Russel Thompson. Listen, I'm going to just pause for the cause. I got to give the flowers where the flowers need to go. And when I have met this brother less than a week and a half ago, I feel like I've been knowing him all my life.
Wow.
And he blessed the whole congregation of how to own nothing but control everything. And I know it sounds confusing, but he is definitely going to teach you how to do that. And then he has the Genesis, the founder, the original GOAT. The original amazing person that brought him into his life for his very first show, his mother, in which I get a warm and fuzzy, man, because I miss my mom to death. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I could. So when I hugged your mom, I pretend I was hugging mine.
Come on, bro.
So shout out to everybody who got love for their mama. Mama's in the building.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mama's in the building.
Man,
let's
she's
go.
in the house,
Let's go.
She's here,
Russ,
man.
Congratulations on your new pilot show.
Man, I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Dream, man. I cannot thank you enough for being here, bro. I tell you what, man. This is going to be probably the most exciting business podcast, around right now because we have so many topics to discuss, so many different things we're going to dive deep in, We're going to go hard in the paint, Doc. We're gonna
Absolutely.
we're going to let the public know what the real deal is going on.
And look, Mama, I'm gonna just let you know. I feel like I already know you because he said, "Man, I can't even bring no other guests
Come on.
before I bring the main guest of honor to my very first show, the Genesis, the beginning." He has a lot of love and respect, and he told me about y'all business that y'all had together, and how it went. So, with no further ado, I want you to go ahead and introduce your queen, man. Let's go.
Man, listen, y'all, I couldn't do this. This is the start of the podcast. I had to do it with the person that started me.
Yeah.
And, this lady here, is the one that influenced me into the business arena. Growing up my whole life, she was the one that was a teacher for 50 plus years. So y'all give it up for that. 50 plus years.
Let's go.
As an educator. But then inside of that, she became an entrepreneur, right? An entrepreneur. And that's what blew me away as a kid to watch her actually teach and actually own her own business. Shout out to all the thousands of students that came through Jan's tutoring got unbelievable help in math and reading, writing, piano, you name it, even language. We taught Spanish.
Wow.
This is my what I came up in.
Wow.
Right. So
that's why you're so sharp.
Oh man, Doc. So the secret behind the secret is Mom's business was my first LLC that I incorporated out of college. This was my guinea pig, man.
So you knew about LLCs back in the day because Mama taught you about that.
Oh, absolutely. So, my company wasn't incorporated until 2008, but Mom's was incorporated in 2004.
Man, so shout out to your mom. Thank you for being here today.
Mom, you here in the building. Thank you for being here. So,
I got your first question. Being an educator, Mama.
Yes.
Why? I mean, I've never asked nobody this. I fuss about it all the time, but I need to hear your personal opinion. Why don't you think they teach business inside of school, the school system that we have right now?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know why, especially you say inside of schools, teachers. We are, and I see them saying, they won't give a teacher a raise, and teachers, if they all wanted to walk out the door and start their own business, they could at any moment.
Be over.
And so I don't understand how that happens, and that's what happened to me. I came from California to Dallas, and that's when we were having the toss test,
I remember that.
and parents were so scared of that test.
Wow.
And they were walking to my business on Camp Wisdom and asked me, do you teach reading? Do you teach math? Do you teach these different subjects? And I'm a piano teacher. I had to get my act together and says, because Toss was ruling Dallas, Metroplex, I had to find math teachers, find reading teachers
Wow.
Yeah.
to accommodate my business, because mothers were walking in and dads were walking in there asking me those questions, and I had to get down to it and do it. I was teaching piano,
Wow.
and then these other subjects, because they were state driven tests was given. Parents needed the help. My child was flunking math. My child was flunking, and then I had to find all levels of math. Whatever
ma'am.
math walked in my door,
Wow.
whatever reading walked in my door, I had to find that. And so, as an entrepreneur, and I'm new into this whole thing.
Wow.
I'm just getting off into this. But when you become an entrepreneur, you have to make up your mind that whatever walks through the door, you have to handle it.
Wow.
And so, that's how I got started.
Wow.
And then my son Russell was going to college at that time, and I was teaching the math that I knew. But as math began to grow, I had to start asking him, because you going to business school. Can you teach this? Can you teach Algebra 1? And he said, show me the book. So I would show him the book, and he looked at it, he says, yeah, I can teach that. Okay. Then, a few months later, geometry walked through the door. And the same question. And I'm an new entrepreneur, right? And I don't teach geometry. I asked him, because he's in business, going to school to become in business at his university. And I asked him, can you teach this? We got another new client, another new student, and they need geometry. The mother said her child is flunking geometry. And he says, same question, show me the book. So I showed him the book. He says, I got it. And so I kept asking, why did you keep asking me to show you the book? And so he said, Mama, to teach math, you have to know it so well, know it to the point of what you're being asked to teach, that you're able to impart it to the student.
Wow.
If I didn't know it over what I needed to know, I could never get it to the student.
Wow.
And so then I knew. And we were paying him $500 a month at that time. He's a student in school to teach.
Wow, this real stuff right here.
To keep Jan's tutoring afloat since when you open your door as an entrepreneur, whoever walks through that door,
Right.
you are the entrepreneur. You're in charge. You're to make it happen. It's what all my old principals used to say. I would tell him, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Harrison, I'm going to do this. And he'll say, make it happen, Miss Thompson. Make it happen.
Wow.
And so Russell made it happen when he had to teach algebra or teach geometry for me.
Wow.
And so I was making it happen in fine arts, teaching piano and giving those recitals.
Wow.
That was the entrepreneur job, Jan's tutoring on Camp Wisdom in Duncanville.
Wow. Shout out to that. I love that.
Like, man, a legend, man. Like, y'all don't even know, man. So I got to go through what we call the 2020 business vision of Jan's tutoring. And this is very important for anybody that's a business owner out there, whether you starting a business or you are in the business. You need to know these 20 things. And the thing about it is that this has changed over the course of time, right? Years before we said that we needed to do this before we did this, but now things have changed because of how things are structured. So this 20 steps here, and we're gonna probably put them on the screen.
Okay.
Are things that you need to do first before you do the other, right? If you're a business owner, right? So number one, out the gate, is going to be your credit, right? You got to be number one is your credit monitoring. So if you don't have credit monitoring, yes, go ahead, Dream.
I gotta ask, Mama, does Russ, before you go there, I'm trying to figure out something about Russ. Mama, does Russ have a photographic memory?
I'm not sure.
Because you know what he told me one
What did he
time?
tell you?
Because he about to give y'all this. Go ahead, get your notes. I'm gonna give y'all time because y'all
Right.
looking for y'all notes section on your phone. So go ahead. He told me one time when he was talking about trust. and how to set up businesses.
Mhm.
He said that he never looked up any videos on YouTube. He never really kind of read a lot of literature on it. He said it just kind of lifted up and got it downloaded from the universe.
Mm.
Have you ever heard him say that?
No.
Yeah, that's what he told me. And now, I'm going to tell you right now, he's about to give y'all 20 steps,
Yeah.
and he ain't pull out his phone. I know for a fact, I'll be like, all right, hold on. 20 steps. Number one. That's why
Right.
you ever watch those waiters
Right.
that know how to go around and be like, okay,
Yeah.
you want that, you want that, you want that.
Mhm.
I had to, all right, now, hold on.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Black shirt, wants steak,
Right.
over, okay. Gray,
Right.
and he needs this. So are you about to do this?
Man, listen, I'm gonna give the
Let-
game. I'm
let
gonna
me
give the
ask,
gospel.
go
Because I
back
want to
to
hear
this.
what type of kid this was. Like, what are we doing?
He's-
What is this? What is going on?
He amazes me. I think it came as I told one of the workers here that when he was 9 years old or 10 years old,
Yeah.
every summer, I found a math teacher and put him in math every summer.
Wow.
Really?
And what I found, the question that I'm coming to, when you ask that question, he played a Russian roulette game with that.
Mm.
I didn't know he could grasp and hold, and that's getting to your
Yes,
question. Grasp and hold.
ma'am. Yeah.
I think it's the strength that when he was little, I put him in that math class every summer, and that is his strength and his forte. I'm using a musical word. His forte at this point.
Right.
Because I too have wondered, how do you know all this information about the trust?
He's a
And
sponge.
it just stays there.
He's a sponge.
It stays
Holds
there.
it in.
And this guy, but when he was in college, he would hold off with statistics. He played a Russian roulette game with that. He would not take statistics until the very end. And then the family was just, because you don't pass stats,
Right.
you ain't
You
going
don't go
nowhere.
through.
Okay, so I said, well, I guess we're not going to have a graduation. He passed that. He did that when he went to grad school. He did the same thing. He waited the last semester to take statistics. And so what I learned from that is, parents, put your kids in classes that's going to count for them later.
Yeah.
Because what you see him doing, what I see him doing now with that trust and all the things and the entrepreneur things, the stamina came there. He called me in grad school and says, Mom, there's been 26 people who registered to be in statistics. 19 have already failed.
Whoa.
Have dropped. So I says, well, what are you going to do? He says, I'm not dropping.
Come on.
And I had to question, where did that come from? It going back to 9 years old and 10 years old.
There we go.
It was the stability of putting him constantly
Yes.
in those classes. And he'll tell you, I'm not scared of math. Math doesn't frighten me. And that's probably the reason why he would wait until the last semester.
Yeah, because he took it head on.
It was a challenge. It was a challenge. I'm trying to think about what he did. It was a challenge for him just to wait till the last and say, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to pass it. And he would pass it every time with a B. Every time.
Wow.
And that was the question, the answer to the question that you just asked me about. So when he started to read the stuff about what he does for being an entrepreneur in this business right now, he's a sponge, as you just said a few minutes
Yes,
ago,
ma'am.
and it soaks up from what the skills were developed back in the day. When he was
Yes.
9 and 10 and 11.
And that's the foundation. I talk
Yes.
about it all the time as an entrepreneur coach. I have to find out when I build something or building like a partnership that we have as now becoming my brother, and we just share spiritual relationships as far as how our beliefs are right now.
Mhm.
And then he talk about you and how, you know, how much he loves his mother, and
Mhm.
I share love with my mother at the same time.
Mhm.
I always want to find out from the bottom, the foundation, because if any building great structure, you know that you can't build a great building on sand.
Right.
The structure, the
concrete,
foundation
beautiful,
has
that
to be very
concrete.
solid.
That concrete.
And I'm meeting the foundation, which I'm
Right.
so, it's such an honor to meet you. And so I can understand where this amazing mind that my brother has, where is this coming from? Because a lot of people just, I don't like when he does what he does it so effortlessly.
Yes.
Right? And I was just tripping out. Like, I'm waiting for him to pull out this phone when he talking about these 20 steps. Feel like, all right, y'all ready? Step number one. Number one. Hold on, man.
It's-
We're not just going to keep on doing so. So another thing is that I feel like people they fail to realize is that God's promises is that He will make room for our gifts,
Yes.
and so these gifts that He has,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, you know, we have to start unleashing those gifts or unlocking them gifts, and I feel like He's starting to unlock His gifts. So I was just wondering, man, because I was just trying to figure this. I said, well, you about to recite these 20. It's 20. I thought
See,
like 3, I can handle 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. 20?
man, listen, man. You got to
What are we
remember.
doing?
I'm coming from a combination of my father was a minister for 50 years.
Mm.
My mother's a teacher for 50 years. And I remember as a kid saying, "Hey, man, I never preach."
Mm.
That didn't last too long. I found myself
Up
Wow.
wow. He did it.
preaching.
He did it.
Really?
Yes.
So
I didn't know that.
Wrote a song and
so
preached
Doc,
it. And
that background, and then along with now being invited into a business to teach and teach kids and perfect my craft, because my thing was, if I can get kids to figure it out, or if I can articulate this to kids, then I definitely can articulate it to adults, right? And so I think that's what this is all the combination of. And so a lot of people tell me, "Hey, man, I've never heard it like that explained," or you do such a good job of teaching it. And I think that comes from that combination being, preacher, teacher
Yeah.
type of background, where you see my father get up
Mm.
and basically just give it to with
His dad was an international speaker.
Right.
He just didn't
Really?
speak here in America. He went abroad and spoke. And I want to just kind of close out what I want to say about to mothers and dads. Don't deny your DNA.
Ooh.
If you see your child is struggling in a class or
Oh.
something, you take care of that.
Mm.
You don't know where that DNA is going. You don't know who's going to be the next whoever in this country or whatever country. But take care of your DNA. That's all I can say as mothers and dads.
Mm.
Deal with that. Because, and go overboard because of the color of your skin. I'm not going to be too scared to say that. Go overboard. My mother taught me, I'm from New York, and every morning she would ask me, do you want to live the way you live today
Mm.
for the rest of your life? She would ask me that question. She made me focus on when I left her door, where I was going to school. Make sure you don't go there and act a fool. Make sure you go there and do what you need to do.
I love that.
Mm.
And I did that. I was raised in New York, in the slums of New York, with J-Lo and I from the same place. We're
Come
from
on.
the Bronx.
From the Bronx.
But
Let's go.
rats was as big as cats in my
Oh
neighborhood.
my goodness. Lord have mercy.
And so when I grew up and got my 3 sons, I had my mind made up on what I had to do.
I
And
love
it
it.
was to make them, I had to do one thing for one of my kids that he probably still is mad at me about. He was fumbling and stumbling in 9th grade, Duncanville.
Uh-oh.
It's real, bro.
Uh-oh.
And I asked him every 6 weeks, don't bring me D's and F's. Don't bring me home D's and F's.
Come
I'm a
on.
I
teacher.
heard a backhand coming.
So that D's and F's kept coming
Uh-oh.
every 6 weeks.
Feel it. I feel it
Every
right
6 weeks. I didn't say anything. We got to summers. Okay, and I just said, I didn't say anything. I just waited until school started again. And I said, you're going back into 9th grade Duncanville.
now. Oh.
Mm. Lord have mercy.
And he said, Mama, please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me. Please don't. I said, you did this to yourself. I asked you to read me a C or B. But D's and F's, and I'm a teacher? No. And of course, in those days, the school counselor, oh, Miss Thompson, he's going to do good. He's going to do better this year. He's going to go. And I said, no, he has to do 9th grade before he can attempt to do 10th grade.
Mm.
So he had to go back into 9th grade at Duncanville.
Mm.
That time is where I saw A's. I didn't ask for A's.
Wow.
I saw A's and B's. I saw no C's and saw no D's.
Mm.
So when he got ready to go to 10th grade, he had passed through ninth grade successfully. I knew he would make it in 10th grade.
Wow.
And he did.
Yo, listen. Oh, man. I got that's a whole life lesson. I need y'all to be prepared.
Wow.
We're about to go to our amazing sponsors, but do not leave it.
Man.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Welcome again to the Succeed Podcast. Russell
Succeed
Thompson.
Podcast.
Let's go.
Man, thank you.
Shout out to you for making the decision and joining us here in the Succeed Podcast, where you're going to learn so much stuff to succeed. And like my boy Russell Thompson always says, own nothing but control everything. This podcast has been brought to you by Dream Media, where you can go ahead and get all your media, podcasts, web development, social media compound, anything that you need, we got you right here. One time for my boy Russell Thompson. Keep listening to my man. You gotta succeed in life and catch it. Now let's get back to the episode. Welcome back to the Succeed Podcast. We right here. I feel like, you know, I don't know if I can get the adoption papers out. You know, I feel like you're my mom at this second. But shout out to Russell Thompson and his mom. Thank you so much for being here. You're so beautiful for just being in here. And she's schooling us, man. This is
right.
Shout out to your DNA. She said, listen, don't miss that opportunity. And it's just giving me a warm and fuzzy to see exactly where my man has gotten all his talent. And he did something so honorable. And something I would have done too, I feel like. And say, you know what? Because Russ knows a lot of people because he helps a lot of people make money and save money, by the way. And he said, no. The first guest has to come in on the royal carpet.
Right.
And he brought his mother in the building. So shout out to you, Mom. We love you. Thank you for being here. It's just fun just hanging out with you.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I feel so honored.
Yeah, you should be.
You know, I when I was raising those guys, I had 3 sons. I burned leather every day.
Oh, I know you did.
I had to tear it up every day.
I used to get them butt whoopings, man. Them old school.
This old school, y'all.
Oh,
See,
man.
you know, we don't have no more teachers like this.
No, it's not.
In our education system, you know, fine arts is going away.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that brought these discipline features in that we don't have anymore. So, Mom, you know, this is old school, man.
And Mama, they can't do it no more because now you do it, you're gonna get them people called on you. What you feel about that?
May I speak to that?
Yeah, please.
I'm a tutor. I tutor in my home. I tutor math, elementary math, and I tutor writing, and I teach piano. I had a little boy that came to me. His mother was so upset because he had gotten kicked out of school over and over, and he was not learning. It had become a everyday thing for him. But she had heard about my reputation, and she brought him to me. And so I told him when he first came, I says, "Now I'm the teacher, and you're the student."
Wow.
So what did Miss Thompson say? "I'm the teacher, and you're the student." He said it. Well, about 2 weeks went along pretty good. About that 3rd week, he decided to go into his old act. At school, he would kick over chairs and knock over things, and sometimes he would see the teacher calling his mom. So I had to explain to him, I says, "Now, when I have a lesson plan for you, when you come every day to come, you have to do what I have to get done, or you can't go home." And he looked at me like, I said, "You can't leave until I finish my lesson plan."
Uh-oh.
And so he decided to go into his act. So I had to pick up the phone and call his mom. So when I called his mom, I said, "Akanya," I says, "I'm having some trouble today." And I said, "I need some help." I says, "I need you to not come and pick him up in another hour. I need you to come and pick him up in about another 2 hours. I'll give you a call." His eyes got as big as watermelons. So when we were learning times tables. And he kept telling me, "I don't want to do it that way." And I says, "Who's the teacher?" "You are." I says, "Okay, I want you to do learning times tables this way." Okay? Because 5 times 5 is 25. 7 times 6 is 40. I says, so when we get to regular multiplication, that is going to pop out in your thinking, and your answer is going to be right there.
Wow.
I said, so that's the way we're going to have to
Let's
learn
go.
it, okay?
Come on.
And I says, now I have a big house. I said, this is my school.
Come
This
on.
is a big, it's 4,000 square feet. I says, there are rooms up there, there are bedrooms up there. I said, so if we still can't get the lesson plan under control here,
About to go
I
to
said,
bed.
you can stay overnight. And I says, and you can get it done in the
Mama
morning.
got him hostage up in the game.
And he looked at me like, he says, how long do I have to stay doing this? I says, until you can get yourself together
Come on.
when you go to regular
Oh, my
school, because
goodness.
the principal at school can't hit you. He can't spank you. He can't, I says, and you know that.
Come on.
And that's what you're doing. And you wait for them to call mama to come and pick you up, because the principal has to let you go because he knows he can't spank you or do what or correct you.
Come on.
And I says, he knows he has to let you go home, but you don't get to go home here. You get to stay here with me.
Mama, come on,
That's
Mama.
how. Plenty of room upstairs you can stay. Plenty of food in the refrigerator.
Come on.
I'll feed you. I'll sleep you. But you have to get that lesson plan for
Oh,
today.
wow.
Once he got that understood, I had no more trouble.
I'm going to say, I got to go home.
Wow.
no more
I
trouble.
didn't get to the house,
No more.
please. Is.
Yeah.
I need
That
is
ain't-
at the
is.
house.
Right. That ain't motivating.
Shout out to you, Ma.
Yes.
Listen, we're going to go ahead and go into our lesson, right? Because on the Succeed podcast with Russell Thompson, he has a big heart for people to learn. So it's time. It's time. It's note taking time. It is note taking time. We got 20 piece. We got a 20 piece with extra peppers and fries
Sauce.
coming from Russ
Yeah.
Thompson. Man, let's get it. Well, number one, where we at?
Number one, if you're going to be a business owner or you're going to start your own business or you are a business owner, you have to be looking at your credit every day. Credit monitoring. You better have it because you have to look at that every day. All right. So
I want
that's
to
number one.
reference. Shout out to Credit Karma. It's free.
Right.
I don't know if you use that.
Right. Hey, it shows two bureaus.
So it's two. You got Experian and TransUnion.
No, TransUnion and
And
Equifax.
Equifax. And
So now
gotcha.
you got to get the experience somewhere else. But hey, at least
Hey,
you can see those two.
See those two. Go get
Right?
you. It's free. Don't know
That's
excuses.
it.
Let's go.
Now, number two, because a lot of people make this mistake. You always hear about them say, man, I'm going to add trade lines to my credit.
Uh-oh.
Before you add any trade lines to your credit,
Get your credit straight.
please have 5 to 7 primaries of your own credit.
Break down primaries.
Man, that's your credit.
Yes.
That's your credit card. Or if there has to be a secure credit card, that's
Yes.
yours.
Yes.
Not you piggybacking or authorizing off of somebody else. So you got to have your own car note if you can do that.
Yep.
A good way to do that is go get you right to the bank and go get a CD, right? And then borrow against it.
There you go.
Man, real easy. Now you got you a primary, a real solid thing in your name.
Y'all learn.
So
Y'all
now,
put your notes.
5 to 7 primaries before you do anything else. Okay, because guess what? People try to repair their credit before they have primaries. That's not the way to do it. Number 3, now that you can maintain 5 to 7 primaries, right? Now it makes sense to clean up your credit. Wouldn't you say that?
It makes sense, my brother.
Wouldn't that make sense?
We're building.
Right, because
We're building.
other than that, if you don't adapt to these primaries, you just gonna mess your credit up again.
Exactly.
Am I right? Right.
Exactly.
So number 1, of course, credit monitoring. Number 2, again, make sure you're building your credit, right? Number 3, again, credit repair. That's when you're gonna repair your credit.
Like it.
Now, this is for a business owner. I don't care if you're existing or you startup, right? This fits for both, all of it, right? So now number 4, what do we do now? And this is where we kind of got with Mom. And so Mom came up with a name.
Uh-oh.
Mom, what was the name of your business?
Jen's Tutoring.
Jan's Tutoring. So that's what the name of the business was. And then when you go check the name, you got to go check the Secretary of State to see if somebody has that name. Now, they're not going to give it to you if somebody already operates with that name, right? But the key to this is, and I'm about to come into the dream entertainment world here, right?
Let's go.
Right? The key to this is that you should have the same business name on the Secretary of State that you can have as a domain, that you can have as an email. Oh my goodness.
Now hold on. Let's go. Let's give them some references.
Right.
Secretary of State. How can they go just on? I mean,
So you got to get with somebody that has a filing number with the Secretary of State
There
that
we
can
go.
go check just on your behalf if that name is available. There's some other references, but you can't trust third-party references. You got to go directly to the Secretary of State.
There you
Okay?
go.
So make sure you get with somebody like our company that can check for you just to see if that name is available. Pick a unique name so that you can get a domain name, the
Yes.
same name, and so that you can have an email address off that domain, because now you're building your brand. Am I right, Dream?
You're right. Absolutely.
Hold on.
I've actually told people, look, go to GoDaddy first,
Mm-hmm.
and then see if that's available.
There you go.
Then make sure.
Circle
then
back
go
around.
into the IRS.gov or whoever you can look up and find out from there. But
That's
absolutely
really
right.
a simultaneous act here,
All
because
together.
you really got to kind of do it all together, right? To make sure you get the name for all three that's going to be on there, right? Y'all agree with that, right?
That's correct.
All right, now, after you got the name, this is probably number 5. The most important thing here is you got to have a business address. Now, I'm explaining how important this is because, again, when it comes to tax purposes, and I'm always going to look at it from the, the mathematical tax side, of course, right? You heard what Mom said, right?
Yeah.
So when you operate a home office, that means you have an office at your home. Mom, we got an office at the home. At the house.
There you
Right?
go.
So if that's your home office, and you also have an office in the public,
Mm-hmm.
when you commute or when you actually drive to your business office, you can now write that off as business miles.
There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
There you
But
go.
if you don't have a home office or you don't have a physical address office, then you can't do that.
Got you.
Okay?
Got you.
So having an address, of course, comes with number 2 in that particular category, a registered agent. Right? Now, how important is a registered agent? We don't know nothing about that. We have people selecting themselves
Mm-hmm.
as their own registered agent. No. Registered agents put in place to detect or to defer anything that comes up against your company. So you have a line of defense here before they come in and actually can interact with you. Somebody trying to sue you, do you want them coming directly to you, Ebony? No. They got to come to the registered agent first, right? And now the registered agent gonna say, "Hey, bro,
Yeah.
say these boys came by. Hey, man, you need to figure out what you're gonna do."
Yeah.
Now you can get a heads up because you didn't put yourself as the registered agent. Does that make sense?
Got you.
So this address and the registered agent are so important because it is going to protect you, right? So what we did with our studio was we had the business address. Mom was already teaching out of her house, right? And then my company, Succeed Consulting Firm, was the registered agent. So now they come in there, they got to deal with Succeed Consulting Firm, right? Janice Thompson doesn't mean nothing to them. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So that's the very important part about, number 5, address, registered agent. Make sure. And you got to have a phone number. Okay? Now, not your cell phone number, right? Get a professional business number, right? Because if you don't answer your phone and it gives your personal cell phone voicemail, we got a problem,
That's correct.
right? You're going to be entertaining people that need your professional information. So make sure it has a professional voicemail.
I love that.
So do not use your cell phones. Have it hooked to your cell phone, but not. And when it gives the actual voicemail, make sure you have a professional number, right? And mostly, make sure you have a fax number. So that's number 5, y'all. So what you're saying here, what I just gave you, is what I call the red in the logo. It's called the stop, research, and plan. Come on, man.
Stop, research, and
Before
plan.
you do anything, man, stop. Right? Research and plan.
Got it.
These 5 things I just gave you, that's it. Those are the things. Your credit and your addresses and your name. This stuff that you have to research. Am I right? You got to figure out where you're going to go put your business at. Location matters, right?
Yes, sir.
So all of that is your research and your planning, right? Don't cost you nothing until you engage.
Powerful.
Got it? Then, now we can get into the green.
Number 6.
Right? Which is going to be, now we can now develop, right? Implement and go.
Okay, go. Green
That's
means
what
go.
that green, right?
Let's
Then
go.
right? So now you're planning your business out. Number 6, before a lot of people make this mistake. And again, we're trying to put this in order, right, Dream?
Yes, sir.
Because if you do it out of order, you're going to actually lose money. You're going to lose time, right? So number 6, before you incorporate anything on that Secretary of State, this is a big one. A lot of people don't have their articles of incorporation. And they don't have their operating agreements. Do you realize and know and understand that the Secretary of State does not vouch ownership? That means if your name is on the Secretary of State and you're trying to claim that you own this business, you cannot use them as a reference of ownership. That's why it says member.
Whoa.
Come on. Right? So in order to prove your ownership, you have to have paperwork drawn up before the incorporation. Come on.
Before the incorporation.
See, we make all these people putting their operating agreements after the incorporation. That's not the right way to do this, y'all.
Gotcha.
These articles are going to show who run the company. Operating agreement is going to show who actually owns the company and their total contribution. Now, this is very important because we're setting up companies so wrong, it's unreal. If there has to be a contribution, that means somebody has to loan the company some money.
Gotcha.
So if you don't have a loan agreement in place at the start of the inception of your company, you ain't doing it right.
Dang. Number 7.
Number 7, now here it is. What do you file first? Do you file your state incorporation? Do you file your DBA county document? Or do you file your EIN number? Which order do you put those in?
Or do
I would. I don't know.
Come on,
which,
Dream.
Okay, I don't know, and I probably
Right. We on number 7, everybody. This is number 7.
I might be off, but I always tell people at least, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't have it, and this. I think I tell them, I go EIN first, then I tell them at least get the DBA,
Right,
and then I don't know if I'm saying it right.
In the Dream, trust me, man, because this is we all struggle with this, man. Nope, until I figured this out. Because I did so many LLCs, nobody sat down and told this to me.
Yeah,
right?
It ain't
I had
like
to,
I
right.
asked Mama. I said it ain't.
So this is about logic. We can use logic on how things are set up.
Yeah.
So when you look at those 3, the EIN number asks for the corporation, and it asks for your DBA. So you should be doing that at the end.
And wow, so you should be getting.
Come on now. Right.
At the end.
Come on.
Got it.
Now, the most important government entity in all of it is the state. Remember, the state will not give you the name if it's not there. Am I right? But an EIN number will.
Got it.
So if you do it out of order and you get the EIN number first and it's not available on the state, you just messed your business up.
Yep, you got to do it all over again. Luckily for me, I was cool. I just went through.
Okay? Now, a lot of people make a mistake also is getting a DBA. You're not supposed to get a DBA because it's attached to your social. Let me run some game on y'all.
Let's go.
There's something called an assumed name.
Yeah.
That's under the Secretary of State. So once you select a name on your incorporation, you can get another name that you want to do business in as an assumed name, not a DBA. What's the difference?
One is attached, one is not.
One is protected by the incorporation and the other one isn't.
Got you.
Ooh. One of them allows you only to be doing business in one county, because if you go get a DBA in Dallas County, that's only for Dallas County. But what if you have a customer in Tarrant County? In Denton County? In Ellis County? When you do it under the Secretary of State as an assumed name, I can select all counties.
So hold on, let me ask you a question. So once you get this assumed name, you get the same type of certificate, because most people get the DBA so they can open up a checking account in the business name, which you're saying not to do, which is good because it's attached to you, your personal. But if you get the assumed, you get the same certificate or a certificate that now you can open up a bank account with that, and that's you can go through all counties.
And now you're protected under your incorporation. Does
Got it.
everybody understand what the incorporation is all about? Because
Got you.
they can't come after your personal assets.
Got you.
But if you get the DBA, guess what you just invited them to do?
Go after your personal assets.
Oh my goodness.
Got it.
Right?
Hey, I hope y'all record. Hey, you're dropping bars. I need a DJ Clue bomb up in here. Let's
Right.
go. All right, so number 8.
So now, we got mom set up right. You know, we
Yep,
had her
I'm
set
straight.
up with the article. She had her operating agreements in.
So
you
who
know.
did the articles?
I did.
Okay.
I did the operating agreement.
Okay.
Articles. We notarized it. Mom's like, what all this for? So I said, just sign it.
Just sign it. Mama's all right, cool. Let's go.
Right? So we had our incorporation, we had our EIN number, we had our DBA or our assumed name, right? Number 8 is very important. When you go to the bank, they're going to classify you in an industry called a NAICS code. Has anybody ever heard of that? Or an SIC code, right? NAICS code is going to actually tell the industry that you're in. So in her case, in mom's case, she was in education and instruction. What happens is now the bank is typing a code in on your industry. Why are they doing that?
Great question.
Because, bro, if you bring in money from liquor sales and you said that you are education and instruction, that is a red flag.
Got you. You can't be in education and
Selling liquor to the kids.
slinging Patron shots. I got you.
Does that make sense?
Got you.
Right?
All right.
So everybody asks me all the time, well, can I do multiple businesses under my LLC? So you're telling me you want to have your restaurant here, but then you want to drive a party bus over here. But your bank account says restaurant.
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
Got it.
And so we are wondering why they looking at us the most, because we go outside of our industry.
Got it.
Got it? So there's 2 big liabilities there. Party bus got a major liability.
Yeah. Major.
Restaurant got a major liability.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is trying to put 2 liabilities together that's going to close both of your revenue streams if something happens.
Got it.
So that's why you separate those, right? So NAICS codes, we need to know your NAICS code. You need to know your SIC code. That's like a subcode of the NAICS code. So, you know, if you do massage, you're going to have personal services and probably massage services. It'll be its codes. You need to know those codes for what you do. You need to identify how you're going to be paid out your business. Okay, this is where a lot of we mess up. W-4 form is for W-2 employment. If you want to be a W-2, you got to fill out a W-4. If you're going to be a 1099 employee for your own business, you got to fill out a W-9. You have to do this stuff, right? If you're going to elect to have it as a partnership instead of a single member owned, you got to file Form 8832. If you want it to be an S Corp, that has to be done in a 75-day time frame. You got to file Form 2553.
My brain, I can't take this, dog.
Now,
hey,
again,
hold on. And I know y'all with me. You with me? I know
Right.
you with me. My brain is like, bro. But this is why y'all gotta take notes, cause
Exactly. This is a
my
note-taker,
man
like
that
you
said
said.
S5532177.
Right.
25, 35, 45, 55. I can't even.
That was
I know
him
what's going
going
on
to
in my brain.
those math classes every summer.
Yeah.
Right.
My man going
So
in.
number 8 is those NAICS codes and those SIC codes and those W-4 forms that you're filing, those W-9s, whatever your selection of choice is. 8832 if you're in partnership. We're going to talk about that in a minute. 2553 if you're going to be an S Corp. And these are very powerful. You know, you got to know the type of entity of choice because it's going to reflect in your tax election and your tax, how you actually file your taxes, right? So number 9, now you go and set up your bank account. Because you're not allowing them just to tell you what codes they putting you under. You know what codes you should go under.
Man, hey, listen.
Okay?
I need to apologize to everybody that I said I done told y'all the whole wrong thing. Hey, at least y'all got your bank account though.
Right. So you got your bank account, right? And then that goes with a merchant account. Have you ever noticed if you open up a business account, they ask you, hey, are you going to be accepting credit cards? Remember, y'all, this is a form of credit. So you always want to get a merchant account set up with your bank account.
Got it.
That means you can accept debit cards or credit cards, right? Because this is a part of how you grow your business. And then the most important piece of it all is accounting.
Come on.
if you don't have QuickBooks or Hurdler or some type of accounting software,
Yes.
you're not in business.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry to say that, but because, and I'm just going to put it out here, we spend the most money. Mom, every time I turned around, use buying books, use buying pencils, use buying,
That's
repairing.
Abbott is
Just
giving us some
buying.
money because we just put all our money in there.
See, but it didn't. After a couple of years of operating, I didn't realize that we could write all that off. Right. Every dime she spent, we figured out a category to put that into to write that off. So once you have your bank account, you got your merchant account, you got to have accounting software. Listen, y'all, QuickBooks got a special right now for the next 6 months. $1.
Come on.
There's no excuses no more.
Plug.
Right?
Yeah.
So you get that, you get your accounting, you hook your bank account up to your QuickBooks. And now QuickBooks is going to start helping you account for your expenditures. When they see you going to Taco Bell because you like them chalupas late at night, you can account for that as a business meal.
There you go.
Come on, y'all.
There you go.
They see you pull up in Chevron and pay some gas. That's fuel expense.
That's right.
Come on. We spend the most
money.
But we have the less accounting.
And least
right?
ownership.
So Bob, he own it. Bill,
Yeah.
I just bought some nails at Home Depot.
Yeah.
He's writing that off, man.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
But if you don't have the accounting, you can't do it. So your accountant is the person that's going to manage and monitor that for you. Number 10, now we're getting into dreamland.
Let's go.
Now you're ready to start your logo process.
Hey.
Right, Dream? Right?
Hey.
Your website process.
Hey.
Right? You got your hosting done and your social media. This is number 10 because you got to create the content, but it's important here to know that before you release it, there's things that got to be done. So number 10 is create your content.
All right, guys, that is number 10, and I need y'all to stay tuned for 11 through 20 on the Pause for the Cause. Listen, we got a sponsor. Come right up. Check it out. Yo, check it out. I know Russ is breaking you guys off. I'm hoping your brain ain't exploded like I was. But listen, I need y'all to stay tuned. It's going down for the Succeed podcast with Russel Thompson. Listen, this episode has been brought to you by Dream Media T-Shirt Express.
Yes.
We're rocking these T-shirts, man. I hope y'all can understand how we feeling and how we rocking it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been brought to you by Dream Media T-Shirt Express. That's right. We can design your T-shirt, get it printed up in 72 hours. It's on and popping. Get your gear up, man. Let's get it. Shout out to you. Now back to the episode. Welcome back to the Succeed podcast. Listen, Mama, you're in the building looking all cute, looking all pretty. Mama remind me of dang, what's her name? Claire Huxtable?
No.
What's her name?
Claire?
Yeah.
What's Claire's real
Where
name?
is she at?
Felicia Rashad. She remind me of like Felicia. She's so pretty and just chill like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Very vibrant, man.
Russell, did you see her? Your mama is pretty. Oh, man.
And I mean, listen, y'all, 77 and in the building, bro.
77?
Yes. Listen, man.
Come on, that's my favorite
and listen,
number.
No, her mind is there because,
They be trying to trick me. Don't
right.
go there.
And so, Mom, what did you there was a concept that you used to kind of, I remember when I was growing up as a kid, going through the studio, it was something about teaching piano or learning piano, how it works both sides of your brain.
Learning piano is very cognitive because it deepens the intelligence and disciplines of your mind. And there's two sides of your brain. And piano helps you in mathematics and in science. Those are the two subjects that if your child is enrolled in piano, you can expect to see those grades start to go up. And so I didn't know that.
Because you're using both sides of your brain. When you're playing one chord, your brain is having to think about the other chord that
see,
playing.
you're reading this, and what you're reading here is telling your hands down here to do that.
Mama, every time, it's funny you saying this? Every time I have ever seen somebody play the piano and just like not look, I'd be looking at that.
Turn off the lights.
How are
you
you
doing that?
Doing that.
And then the people that shout out to the people that know how to type real fast,
Right.
50, 60, and they're looking at
And
something
you
they're
know what?
typing.
And people
I'm like,
get upset
yo.
with me because I'm a texter. I text.
Yeah.
I could text you in 5 minutes what
Look
I
at
need
them
to say.
fingers.
Because
Look how
them
fast the
pianos.
fingers going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and they said, Janice, I don't text, so please don't text me. Call me.
But to go back to that, the same thing with the mathematical problems. When you're thinking about doing a equation, there's a problem before the problem. See? And which by that piano, you're using both sides of your brain.
Powerful.
You're working the problem on one side while you're working the other problem on the
Powerful.
other side.
Powerful.
And that's why, my mom, when I was in Mom, you remember you taught me in 8th grade math. Remember?
Let me tell you something.
Math?
Yeah, this happened in
taught
math.
me.
I was my husband had a school, a private school, church school. And so the pastor's wife had to be everything. Okay, so they found out that I could teach 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade math. So they put me in that class and made me teach. Okay. And so Russell had mental math. And I didn't realize, there you go again. You're asking me a question, but that was back to those going to those classes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm giving a test, sitting there right in front of all my kids, watching everybody do their work. And when I get his paper, he had not worked out one problem. They were all just answers. So here's the same lesson we learned at Randy. I says, where's your work? Well, there was no work there. It was mental math. He would just look at the problem and he worked it in his mind and wrote the answer down.
Yeah, that's...
But that goes back to my 5 times every summer I was putting him, and I can see so many times how that helped him. When he wrote this own trust program, I'm going, back to those teachers. And you know what? I said, okay. So I wrote a one-legged A on the test. That's an F. And gave it back to him.
One-legged. Wait a minute.
One leg.
And so when the kids at recess found out, oh, you got an F. Your mama gave you an F. And they ribbed him. And that's when I knew he had mental math. He could just... But it goes back to that early training. And
I remember now from that F, I had to write out the problems. And even though I knew them, I had to write them out. But now I understand that whole concept of writing something out, right?
And when he got to her school, health magnet, he told me, he came and he thanked me. He says, Mama, you made me do the steps in those equations. But even I saw the answer, you made me do the... You told me how important it was. He says, I met a teacher at Health Magnet, an algebra teacher, and he is crazy. And he says, if you hadn't made me learn to do those steps back in 8th grade algebra, he says, he would have me for lunch.
Listen, speaking of steps, we're going to go into the next steps.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys got your notes out. We on number 11, which is one of my favorite numbers of manifestation. Let's get it.
So we already talked about, stop, research, and plan. We already talked about the start, develop, and implement. The yellow in the logo represents now grow, visualize, and expand.
Let's go.
Okay.
Powerful.
So, you
Number
know what?
11.
When I first see your logo, I was like, okay, probably some science to this.
Right.
Let's go. I like
It's a puzzle. Colors mean something.
Gotcha.
Visualize and expand.
All right.
So number 11, y'all. We built content now. We got logos. We got websites. Number 11, y'all. We have to protect our contact and our intellectual property.
Boom.
So now that you have a logo, you got to actually trademark it.
Yeah.
Now that you have a website, you have to actually copyright it. Any content you create that's yours, you got to copyright it.
And we appreciate y'all using Dream Media
Right.
for your logo, content,
That's right.
and website. Shameless plug.
That's
Get back
right.
to the program.
Right?
Let's
Because number 12 is business listings.
go.
Come on. Before we put anything out there on Google or anything out there on social media, shouldn't our content be protected? Come on, that logo is trademarked.
Let's go.
Got it? So before you list yourself on all 25
Let me ask you a question
major
about that.
search
Let me ask
engines,
you a question about trademark.
right?
How long did it take you?
Trademark
To get
it's
your
going to
trademark.
take about 6 months.
So trademark's going to take about 6 months.
Yeah, let me explain that to y'all. There's two types of trademarks. Everybody seen the one with the little TM?
Yeah.
That's your trademark that you created. That's really your, showing that proof that's your instrument. But there's a state trademark. Go right to the Secretary of State, y'all. They have a trademark application. But that only means your trademark is only good for what, y'all?
The state.
Texas.
Come on. Or whatever state
So
you're in.
again, now if you're only operating in Texas, right?
You good.
You only got 16 chains in Texas, right?
There you go.
Then we good,
All right.
right? But the moment you step out of Texas,
All
right?
right. Gotcha. It's free
You
game.
now need to probably get the registered trademark. Have you seen the R? That's the registered trademark that comes through the federal government. So now they put your actual images through a series of tests and questions, and even let people say that, man, you know what? They got the same thing succeed on there and the same colors and the same. That's too close to my logo.
Yeah.
So I can now put in a request to reject that logo, right? For that trademark. But again, be unique.
Let me
Okay.
guess. Let me guess. You offer this service.
Doc, we have attorneys that do trademarks on the federal level, right? I
Nice.
really don't mess with state unless, again, if I know for a fact that you're only operating in the state. But everybody knows people everywhere now, right? So
It's powerful.
if you social media, you forget the state,
Yeah.
right? Because it's everywhere, right?
It's everywhere.
Am I right? So number 12, y'all, is business listings. Okay. Now you have the protection to list your stuff on the line. Now, like I said, when you go to these listings now, I think these major search engines, they're gonna put you on 30 major search engines. Think about that now. And reason why your foundation is so important, your address, your phone number, your domain and email, because those search engines don't update just like Google does. Some of them search engines might not update 6 months later. So if you change any information and you've already put it on the public record, you got conflicting information.
Gotcha. Whoa. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. Come on.
So you got to, this is the plan. This is why you planning this out. You thinking this out because you got to make sure that you keep that foundation intact, right? So number 12, again, was business listing. Number 13. Now, people all the time, hey, I need a business plan. 13 now, you have enough content to write a business plan.
There you go.
And a productive one at that. We're not talking about no plan you're going to pull off the online.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay? No template, y'all. Come on. Right? We're talking about a real business plan.
Yeah.
But because you have steps 1 through 12 already completed, you now have a functioning business plan.
Got it.
Now it's time to write a business plan. But writing it premature, right?
Got
That
it.
don't really make no sense.
Gotcha.
So again, we're talking about the order of business here, right? Right?
Gotcha.
What you do before the next and what you do after, because it matters a lot, So people, they go get their incorporation and now they're trying to write a business plan. Well, you don't even have a logo yet.
Oh.
Right?
Let's go.
How's that possible? Right? You can't do that, right? So you got to make sure you follow these steps and these orders because this is how it actually should be done. Number 14, business financials. Now let's talk about that. What are those? If you're going to now start approaching to where you want your company to be credible, you're going to have to start showing financials. Banks don't make decisions on EIN numbers with just basically, W-2s and 1099s. They make statements or they make decisions on bank financial statements. That is your profit and loss statement.
Got it.
Also, the IRS They don't want to look at no bank accounts. They want to look at your profit and loss. Again, this comes back to your accounting. If you got the QuickBooks, you can always generate a profit and loss monthly statement. You can generate a quarterly statement. Because now if you want to apply for funding, number one thing they're probably going to ask for is a profit and loss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Cash flow statement is another very important statement that you need to be familiar with if you're a business owner. Because if you don't know if you have enough cash in your business to operate, then you probably won't be successful. Different industries require you to have different amounts of actual, what we call monthly, revenue or reserves in order to actually have that business function. So if you're a trucking company, you need 6 months of your budget in the bank. You're a restaurant, you need 6 months of your budget definitely in the bank.
In reserves.
So if your budget is $40,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
you better have $240,000 in the bank to operate that business.
Got it.
Okay? This is so important, y'all, because so you can go find this on Google, different types of businesses. If you're a consulting firm, I think it's like 3 months. If you are, a law firm, they got them all. Hair salon, right? Make sure you're not cheating yourself here.
Got it.
Because if you don't have enough cash to operate, you might have a slow month that month.
Okay.
Right? Then you might have a fast month, and then you can use that to pay off the slow month, right?
Gotcha.
So the cash flow identifies 3 things. Number 1, it's going to say operating income. How much operating income do you have? That's the money coming from the business itself. Number 2, investment income. A lot of black businesses don't have this because we didn't have the opportunity to invest in anything that can give us revenue towards our overhead. So, Dream, what if we have something we can invest in that's now helping out with our little overhead that we got every month?
Nice.
So we got to figure out some form of investment income because when I'm an underwriter, I'm looking at your cash flow statement. I'm saying, okay, I see what his operating income is. Oh, I see they got a rental property that's bringing $1,300 a month just to offset some of the overhead for the business. That's pretty good. And number 3 is your financial income. This is now what we're about to get to, the business credit. How much lines of credit do you have at available different institutions that offer business credit? So if you now have a line of credit at Home Depot, right, then that's going to protect your cash flow because you can now use a line of credit versus spending your cash. You see how that works? So in a slow month, we can use lines of credit. Big month, we pay off lines of credit.
There you go.
So are you going to get along with one of the 3 financials? Or are you going to get along with 3 of the 3 financials? Do you see?
Fire.
So you're 90% lendable when you have operating income, investment income, and financial income. See? That cash flow statement identifies that.
It's powerful. Boom. That's a whole book.
Last thing is your balance sheet. Balance sheet is going to show the worth of the company, the value of the company. If I took a snapshot of your company today, it's going to tell me what your company's worth today.
Mm-hmm.
If I took a snapshot of it for the month, it'll tell me what it's worth for the month or the year. So a balance sheet is basically a snapshot on what the person that's actually looking at your business, how they want to perceive it. Do I want to look at it from a yearly standpoint? Do I want to look at your business from a monthly standpoint or a quarterly standpoint? That's their opinion, but you need to be able to offer that. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of
because
sense.
most banks are going to have their different ways that they look at things.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure those financials are in place. So again, we're talking about, growing, expanding, right? Making sure number 11, you got your business protection. Number 12, you got your business listing. Number 13, business plan. Number 14, business financials. Because again, we're looking at order here. Am I right? Now, has anybody ever done a Dun & Bradstreet application?
All right. I'm gonna tell you me, I let the professionals do what they do. You ain't fit to have me my brain hurting right now.
Because look here.
Now we gotta fill out the Dun & Brad application.
Right, look. So now we're on number 15, am I right, Dream? 15.
Right.
This is number 15. Business credit. Now, Dream, everybody talks about this business credit.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I think people don't really understand that business credit and business funding are 2 totally different things.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have or people have personal credit cards at only the store that gives the credit?
Mm-hmm.
Macy's gives you a line of credit only to Macy's. Nordstrom's gives you a line of credit only to Nordstrom's.
For real.
Y'all get that, what I'm saying? That's what business credit is. It's not business funding. Business credit is saying that I need a line of credit at Walmart. Not through my personal name, but through my business. I need a line of credit at Amazon. I need a line of credit at Sam's Club. I need a line of credit at Chevron. I need a line of credit at T-Mobile.
Got it.
You got it? So what does that do to your cash flow? It protects your cash if you have lines of credit at different vendors that you're going to have to use anyway.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Make a lot of sense.
So when you're filling out that Dun and Bradstreet application, Lord have mercy,
Man.
people, there is a financial section.
Does your company do that for people?
Oh, come on, Doc. We take you from A to Z.
I'm just.
Yeah.
They're probably.
And we're gonna give you the numbers if you guys want to contact
Yes.
us to get you in this
Absolutely.
2020 business alignment.
Let's get.
Because we got to make sure our people are taken care of. This is why I'm giving the information. Nobody's gonna give this to y'all. I realize this. I was putting on the planet to do this. That's why I have a free spirit to give you this information.
Yep.
Come from the preacher and the teacher, so you get a combination of a sermon and in a classroom setting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to make sure that the Dun and Bradstreet application number 15 is filled out correctly with the financials.
Got it.
Now, what is a person trying to give you a line of credit? What they gonna look? Are they looking for a company that don't have financials? Or are they gonna look for a company that do have financials?
There you go.
Okay, just own there for a reason.
Class of booming or blooming.
Mom, say it. What you gotta say?
I asked him, he just told me about this. He's teaching a class at his university he graduated from in Keene, Texas, Southwestern Adventist University.
Mm-hmm.
He's teaching a class on Tuesdays, budding entrepreneur. These are the kids, budding entrepreneurs.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so our nonprofit, we got a nonprofit, we got the whole nine, y'all. Listen, we giving back, man.
How old are they?
11 to
It's a
18.
college kid.
Kids
11
can
to 18.
learn how to start their own business, and they're going to write a 14-point business plan.
On that one.
And guess what? Kids have gone through this program. We've been doing this for a long time. Shouts out to 2014, 15, 16 national champions of the Professional Business of America partners. The Dubisky High School won national.
Wow.
Would succeed.
Dubisky, that's in Arlington.
That's in
It's
right there in Grand Prairie off of the
Pioneer
161.
Parkway.
Right. They won first place.
Yeah, Jada
all
went
3
there.
years.
My daughter went there.
And this was a competition on kids had to have a topic. They had to put a presentation together. They had to show how they were going to grow and expand their business. And this was now put in like a Walmart in like South Paulo, Brazil.
Wow.
And how they were going to put it there, expand it, and grow it, man. And these kids blew it. I was like this. Like,
oh, I definitely want to get in.
yeah,
on
so
that.
and there's some stuff probably on
How
YouTube
old
with
are
that.
they?
Oh, they professionals now, so it's,
But the kids that you go on Tuesday mornings.
oh, so now I'm doing kids again, 11 through 18.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, so 11 through 18. If you want to, get some information about those programs, we do them through the summer, but we helping kids.
That's powerful.
It's called training the next generation of entrepreneurs.
That's
right.
cool.
Now, if they know this stuff right here at kids,
They should, yeah.
Then
that's
come
powerful.
on, man.
They should have
Then-
been doing that.
thank
school,
you.
but
Right.
Yep.
So we
I know we got 5 more. We got to wrap it up for your episode, your first pilot. So we're on 15. We're going to 16. 16.
So now, 15 again, you had your business credit application with Dun & Bradstreet. Got to make sure that's done right, correctly. Dun & Bradstreet is going to ask you how many vendors you want to add to your credit. Now, people do it different ways. Listen, I don't care how you do it. Just make sure the vendors get on there, okay? So there's something called number 16, net 30 vendors. Does anybody know what a net 30 vendor is, right?
Yeah.
Net 30 vendor is a vendor that gives you 30 days to pay the bill.
Back. Shout out to Amex.
Okay, Amex. Net 30, biggest net 30 account, right? Now,
And they need that money quick.
that's right. Now, business credit is simple. It's not like personal credit. Business credit is very simple. If you pay before the due date, your business credit goes up. If you pay on the due date, your business credit stays the same. You pay after the due date, You already know what's going to happen. It's going down. Very simple. Okay? So they have a package of 4 vendors you can add, 8, 12. Remember, your business at this point in time is already paying certain people already. If you got a website and you using Wix, that's a vendor. You got T-Mobile for your phone that you have in yourself, that's a vendor. You're now able to actually plug that into your business credit. So a lot of people go and buy these things that they don't need from these accounts that they don't use. I mean, you can do that too, but you can also use the vendors that you already paying. Does that make sense? Because you already are.
Yeah.
So net 30 accounts, you got to make sure that you have, again, here it is, the number 5 to 7.
Got it.
How many? 5 to 7 net 30 accounts reporting on your business credit.
Gotcha.
Number 17, is that we're on 17?
Yeah.
Net revolving credit, right? So revolving credit is different than net 30 accounts, right? Revolving credit is now like a real business credit card where there's not, there's a minimum payment due. Again, you want to pay that 7 days before the due date so that you can get the points on your business credit.
Got you.
Okay? So you're looking for revolving accounts again, right? Again, another way to do that is go get a CD and borrow the CD in the business name, not the personal name. Let the CD go, buy the CD at the business name with the EIN.
Got it.
And then borrow against it. Now you have a revolving payment. What is a revolving payment? It's the same payment every month until you pay it off, right? So you need about 2 or 3 of those, okay? Again, you're wanting to build now at least 10 to 12 vendors on your business credit, right? So now you can go for the gusto, okay? Because now when you become a 2-year-old business, you have everything in place for you, right? Personal credit, 720. Business credit, 80 on Paydex, 80 on Experian, 450 on Equifax. You're looking good. Okay? So we got to make sure we keep that in that order. Remember, all this is in an order, in a make sure that you have the order, right? Now, number 18. I can't stress this enough. You have to file your business taxes.
Got to.
Okay? Listen. A lot of people make the mistake and say, well, I have a brand new company, right? And don't file the tax return.
Dang.
In order to keep your tax return or your business in 100% compliance, to give it the most value, by the way, these 20 steps are giving your business the most value because if you want to sell it, it's got value.
Got you.
It's set up the right way. But if you want to actually get money for your business, Uncle Sam is the one vouching for the business income. Does that make sense? So a lot of people say, well, I only did $550 in my business. Well, you still need to show the losses. And you didn't think about the loan that you had to give on the losses. So what happens if the business now starts making money and there's a loan against it? It has to pay the loan back first.
Wow.
Am I right?
A lot of people have to learn that the hard way.
Boy, come on. And we put the most in our business because we're so excited about the idea. We just throw it in there. All this money. Wait a minute. Before you did that, we need to put a loan agreement in place. Notarized before you start dumping money in there. Right? So your tax returns are number 18 are very important, right? Because now you can use that Uncle Sam as a way to vouch the income for the business. Okay? Number 19. Now you add personal trade lines.
Now you add. Finally.
Got it?
Gotcha.
Trade lines now are ready because now you put yourself in position now to ready to go for real funding. You got your business plan. You got business credit. You got your financials. Man, you ready? You have everything the bank is going to ask you for.
Hold up. And I know they're ready to go. And I know y'all trying to get your last 2. But before we do that, I need to go to this commercial break. Y'all check it out. Yeah. Yo, check it out. I'm super glad that you are hanging out with us. And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I need y'all to succeed. Succeed right here with the podcast. My man Russel Thompson is breaking you off. Shout out to you. Listen, if you're in Dallas Fort Worth, do me a favor. I'm having a daddy moment. Go holler at JC Styles. This episode is brought to you by my baby girl. Happy revolution to the JC Styles and all the new wigs that she's producing. Now back to the episode.
Wow.
Welcome back to the Succeed Podcast. Listen, I hope you got your notes. You're getting a whole masterclass, and he's loving you enough to bring his mother here on his very first episode.
Man.
And she is in the building. And we're about to wrap this thing up, man, real quick. We are on number 19, where Russel Thompson making himself right now on how we can knock out these 20 steps to set up our business the right way.
Right. So we in the last phase, which is the blue. And this is the last phase of it, y'all. This is love, prosper, and enjoy your business.
Man, you sound like old boy from Soul Train.
You can sleep at night, man, when
What
your
my man
tax
say?
returns are filed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can sleep at night when you got accounting done, bro.
Like, sounds
You can
good.
sleep at night when everything is done the right way.
Praise God.
And so 19 now is now the time to add personal trade lines because you're getting ready for funding. Okay? Trade lines, of course, you guys know are probably on a 3 to 6 month scale, whoever you deal with sometimes. But time it to where you're going to actually use it for the funding purpose.
Got it.
Right? And then number 20, a lot of people don't know that there are business trade lines.
Got you.
See? So now you have business trade lines. Now you're trying to maximize it out. You're trying to go ahead and go for the gusto.
Man.
Right? So this is the step to do how to do this. You don't do it in no other way. Don't let nobody else talk you into, getting business trade lines and you haven't done all of these things, man.
Man.
It don't make no sense. Okay?
Russ, man, you broke us out today, Doc.
Man, Doc.
Listen.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And thank God it's on video. For you guys that are checking us out right now, press that rewind button. I know it was a lot of information, but more importantly, there's some information that's at the bottom of the screen, how you can get in contact with Russ Thompson in the business that he's in. And listen, shout out to the queen being with us.
Man.
77 years young.
Right.
Looking
A
amazing.
wisdom.
And she still you still playing the piano, Mom?
Yes. Well,
And teaching.
And are you still teaching?
I'm teaching and I have a package deal for piano and academics.
Come on, plug
Look,
away. Hold on, look at the camera right there.
Mama,
Look at
tell
the
me what
camera.
you do.
Go ahead and plug your
And-
business right quick.
Piano and academics. Our kids are not learning to write.
Mm.
Make sure you take time to have your kids write you 4 or 5 sentences a week and you critique those sentences to your satisfaction.
Wow, that's good.
Call me
Wow.
214-284-1689 if you need me. Piano, academics writing, 6 months, piano and academics math. I'm targeting 2nd through 5th graders because they lost it in the pandemic. Those are the ones we have
that's
lost. Those kids we've lost them. It has to be nailed up for them to be able to go on to middle school mathematics.
I love
2nd through 5th grade has got to come be united because they lost it in currency. Make a penny jar, make a jar and start counting money every day. Have your child learn to write his name in cursive. That's his signature.
Wow.
Give him his signature. Do not allow school to take it away from him. You teach your child cursive how to write his name. Buy a tablet from Dollar Tree. Make him write that tablet 10 times a day on a sheet. And when the week has ended, give him a treat for it. Make him give him his signature.
Wow. Mom.
Call me at 214-289.
I see you with the commercial break, Mom. I see you.
Man.
Dropping it like that.
Mom, do you remember this?
Oh, yes.
What's that? Is
That's
that your
our-
Smeedy?
That was Jan's tutoring.
Oh,
T-shirt.
look at
Do
that.
y'all remember? You remember this?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
And
too.
then
That
this
was my
what her
business.
slogan was that just blew me away.
Teacher till the light comes on.
Let's go. Come on, Jan's tutoring.
Now, of course, y'all can't call
when
this
the
phone
child-
number no more
Yeah,
because
that
it ain't
number
on no
gone.
more.
When the
But
child
she
says,
gave y'all the
"Oh."
phone number to call. So
That's what's up.
big ups to Mom, man.
Shout out
Thank
to
you,
you,
Mama,
Mama.
for developing me to the man that I am today.
Yeah.
Praise
You really have poured into me. You still pouring into me today. You know, we have a lot of talks and discussions about all the things I do. And I thank you so much for just being the mom that, you know, taught us integrity.
Yeah.
Always taught us how to do the right
Honesty.
thing, man.
That's right. Praise
In
God.
every
Honesty.
situation, do the right thing, Russ.
Shout out to
do
you.
the right thing, bro.
Russ, go ahead and
So-
close us out, man. Give us how
Honesty.
we can contact you and your program. And
So
then I'ma
listen,
go ahead and get us out of here.
yes, the best way to contact me is through my assistant, executive assistant. Her name is Miss Clark. You're going to reach her at 214-292-8836. Now, when you go and call that number, we have several different departments. Make sure you push 0. You can get right directly to her. Get you an appointment, free appointment. Get you an appointment set up. We'll go through all your stuff and see where you're at. What I'm going to do is make sure I assess your entire estate. Because I want to just show you the helicopter view.
There you
right?
go.
So you can now map it out, right? Thanks to Dream
Hey.
Entertainment. I
Hey.
want to shout him out. Thanks to, H3 Artworks, my brother, who was raised under my same mother. He's a
Yep.
celebrity artist in the Dallas area, does a lot of celebrity different art for a lot of different people. Shout out to him. Shout out, man, to Miss Jackson in Hennessy Tax Service, right? Hold me down when it comes to these taxes, right?
Oh.
So we have everything on point for you guys, for your accounting, to your business formations, to even your estate, even your tax planning, right? We're here. We're going to keep doing this. I have over 208 topics that we finna just dive into. So stay tuned. You know, we got a few more topics coming up, a lot more topics coming up, rather. But stay tuned with us. We're going to bring this to you. We're going to bring this heat every week to you. Dream, thank you so much. Mom, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
The
Thank
team,
you,
thank
Dream.
y'all so much. Let's turn
Thank
up.
you, team.
It's 2023. Again, we're training
Yes.
the next generation of entrepreneurs. Thank y'all so much.
Wow.
Hey, y'all do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. It's your man Dream. Dream motivates. Out earn the problem. Let's get out of here.